Good morning to everyone. This is the Power of Healing with Utabi. Ungowekethelo. It's a beautiful Monday. Igashisa, guys. Guyashisa. So, hopefully, you guys will have a blessed week and a blissful Monday as well. I know we all tired. Yeah, Gashisa. So, just to get on it, just to get on today's topic, or just give you a little bit of a background on today's topic. I know about Dabagavugi, which makes it beautiful for me to do this because abantu mabangekho aware ukuthi live sometimes it helps ukuthi usheshe uqede and I don't have to read anyone. So on Saturday, I was at I was at event, ne? An event. Hey, slow. I was at an event and when we came back, I literally waited 3 hours just to get this guy who is an Uber driver. So Shuti besilinde yena because as soon as I get into the car, we had a conversation just like normal people. But then I started choking. And when I started choking, mina-ke my spacing yazi ukuthi imanga ziyenzeka noma ngikuphi, whether bank, whether kuphi, when they want to talk, they want to talk. So I start choking and I don't even know ukuthi ngichokiswa yini. And then and then okay, umkhulu started talking, umkhulu wakhe, this guy. It was amazing for him, I think, because so it led to today's video as well. But I think, it's something to hear izinto from social media and how things izinto zenzeka kanjani. But what I've experienced in my journey is that it's another thing umuntu makahlangana nawe as a medium and then actually reading it gives a different meaning to izinto and the reality of things. So personally I feel like sisesikhathini of um sisesikhathini sesambulo. We grew up ne spirituality suppressed so much so that it was limited to certain experience and knowledge. So now seyiyaqhuma manje, it's becoming wild. Yabona, it's like a child manje iqhuma because now I think sikulesikhathi where ifuna ukuziveza what is really spirituality. So sisesikhathini sesambulo where everything is now emehlweni wethu, we can see it mawunenhlanhla ukubona ukuthi what's going on. So yeah, so this guy was amazed, guys. It was a tense reading because I think he even stayed was cancel namanye ama-trips bebamrequesta wona. So it shows the seriousness of things and lento esiyiphikayo esithi thina ayikho, it shows ukuthi khona kangakanani if abantu bakini bayakwazi ukuhamba nawe emotweni and he said to me, yes gogo, you're not the first healer, you're not wonke umuntu oyihilo ongena kule moto tells me this. And now that when you've explained it even much better, I think I need to take it because, and I said to him, akwenzeka ukuthi abantu abawu-3 balibe bambona lo mkhulu engekho, balibe bakutshela ngalesimo sakho sokubhema kanti into enhle. So if abadala bathi lento izokubulala ngempela, and I think abantu bakithi bayakudinga lokho ukutshelwa izinto amaqiniso because we think angithi sithi thina um bashonile abasekho, so once bashonile mos nithi yini nibuye nithi amadimoni futhi. So but when it happens ukuthi azayiveze ngale ndlela ayiveza kuwe 3 times, I said to him, yazi ukuthi by now you should be aware ukuthi lo muntu lo muntu lo mkhulu uhamba naye. So I just wanted to give. So this morning again, it wasn't my plan to do a video, ne? But then I got into I wouldn't call it a trance. Yeah, understand. Okay, thingibeke ngesintu makhuphuka abantu abadala, I get into this stage of yomlilo. I had to release this energy ngomlilo, guys. So I realized, let me just explain the significance of fire in in spirituality or in shamanism, because a lot of people do is Setsheso, they call it Setsheso, and they do it, and they say it's a ritual yabana moya or prophetic. Not necessarily, guys. It's just that, you know, that element of fire abantu abayinotice, and why bantu bangayinaki is because it is more dangerous, and it's more complex, and people don't understand it. Now, Tina, as Africans, we do not understand it, the significance of that element. However, in other cultures, on our other religions, sort of like Hinduism, and it is used more. Why is it Tina singayazi? Tina asiyazi kahle because we were taught with the element of water a lot. Most of our rituals were done in water. So because sibhilivele emanzini, that's the experience and knowledge we were given, we don't really know about the other thing. So what I want to say is that the elements of nature are so many, right? But wonke are connected to each other and they work hand in hand. Now, I've always said this. Kunabantu, we are all spiritually coded, or according to spiritual cleanse. Now, kunabantu, abantu basentabeni, abantu akungafanelanga ngabe umuntu uyawasebenzisa amanzi because izinto zakhe zisentabeni. That is where ama-rituals afana nesitshiso are done kubantwana basentabeni. Now, guys, in spirituality, there's two things. It's either we work with energy. So in energy, there's two. It's either you attract energy or you repel energy. So what is attracted? The light will always attract the darkness. Mawuzoyenza izinto zokukhanya, always, you must always remember that darkness is going to be attracted. Mawuzoyenza izinto ze-darkness, you must know that darkness is going to repel light, because ukukhanya nobumnyama kuhlangani. So darkness will always want to follow light, but darkness will not allow light into its space. Angazi noma ngiyichaza niyayizwa. Darkness will always repel light. So if somebody is practicing dark things, that person will always reject light or will always have a problem with light. That's common sense. Now, we must know this. Now we must also know, if you look at my picture for this live, it's a bonfire, or it's a zodiac sign of David. And I like referring to the zodiac sign of David because I know a lot about it, fortunately. um I said this in one of the videos. As spiritual people, most of us carry signs and symbol of our gifts and our spiritual coding. Now, abantu see people doing signs and they think, who practice satanism or who practice evil things. Umuntu oyi-healer, guys, uyanikezwa ama-signs nama-symbols wakhe. We might not do it, abantu, they don't do it consciously, but consciously aware ukuthi I'm doing these signs, but uyawenza lama signs. It's for the other people to see ukuthi, oh, uyawenza lama signs, but it does not mean necessarily lo muntu usebenzela i-darkness. Let us not confuse things. Kukhona ama-signs with darkness. As I said, darkness will always like is always going to be attracted by light. Kukhona ama-signs of darkness. Kukhona ama-signs of your gifts and your where you come from, your background, imvelaphi yakho, how you were created into the spiritual like the spiritual clan that you come from will have lights, will have signs. So kukhona ama-signs that we do, and symbols that people do that are from the dark side. Kukhona ukuthi vele into ayiphiwe, the sign says a lot about yena ngobuyena. And I know that in most cases, when somebody is a shaman or somebody is a medium, there is a sign, definitely. Unayo sign oyiphiwe yona, unayo symbol oyiphiwe yona. Now, it actually represents your journey. Bese, so yeah, so abantwana bentaba, guys, when they do they do their rituals. Akufani nasemanzini. So there's this thing that people do, which maybe I need to make people aware of. When you're going to do rituals, akuvele nje uvuke ekuseni ugqoke, boom, you go there. You get to the space when the ritual. That is where problem yethu starts from. Now I said ama elements of nature, ama elements that we have, that we carry. They're sort of like connected. So if fire would always be connected with the wind spirits, if you've got fire spirits, definitely you're going to have wind spirits. Now, what happens is chiswen sakho. Now, this is what people are not aware of. When uwenza that ritual, uqala umlilo, it can, depending on you and the energy that you are given, it can backfire on you. So people go bayoyenza isitshiso. But they're invited by other people to come. Kunesitshiso enkonzweni, you go there. You're not realizing ukuthi kulama energies wesitshiso. Ama energies awafani, how we vibrate akufani, kuningi sihlukile, right? So when you get to lesitshiso, kunabantu abahlukile la abaze ngama motives or ngama wishes ahlukile. Understand isitshiso esani, because even within isitshiso kunezinto that are done by prophets, and then kunezinto that are done differently. It's ne. So you get that goyenza isitshiso, as I was saying, siyavuka siyaqoka siyahamba sesitshisweni. Okay, my lento is saying my battery is low. Maybe I need to recharge to charge angazi ukuthi low kanjani. But anyway, let me try and be as quick as possible. So yeah, kube naleso sitshiso ke leso, and people start like doing whatever that they're doing. And everything we do, lapho esoyenza khona, please do understand, kuney'thunywa zakuleyo ndawo, kunemimoya kuleyo ndawo, kunabalozi kuleyo ndawo. Mawusentabeni kunabalozi, mawusemanzini kunabalozi, depending ukuthi uyoyenzani. Now with isitshiso, guys, isitshiso is done for several reasons. Kunesitshiso where you are purifying. It's true, a fire element is for purifying, is for rebirth, is for transformation. A ritual of fire has to do with at least those things, those three things. So when you go to do a ritual of fire, ngiyabonga ukuthi ulalele sithando sami. That symbol, it's a zodiac sign of David. If you know King David, then you would know. So the fire, it's fire touches all the 6 elements of nature, which is the people who have been given that symbol of land. I'm sorry, guys, I had to respond to this, but I'm not responding to questions today. So it zodiac sign, it's the sign of kinship, but in biblical terms, or in biblical philosophy. So if you go to the history of the zodiac sign of David, you would learn more about it. So yeah, so they to go there bafike bayalight umlilo. First of all, whatever that we do when we do rituals, we channel. You are going to channel spirits there, depending on what you are going to do there. Now, if you're going to cleanse, because khona abantu who are not supposed to cleanse by water, but they cleanse by fire. Okay. Now, the reason why we would take the element of fire, siyifake emanzini, khona lento khona lesdalo esisipurifayayo. So in most cases, you get that isitshiso would be done by not all the time, because people don't know this, but if umuntu go cleanse, go purify a spirit of somebody who had a spirit of bugedla, then you would do a bonfire. Now, as I said, fire and wind go together. If things were not done correctly, lo mlilo olayitayo, you must know ukuthi uzoba iblaze ezoshisa wena futhi, because it does what the ritual of fire does is irreversal. If it was not done and you did not know what you were doing, reverse. And once irreversa, whatever that you are trying to cleanse and purify is about more stronger, because now you did not know what you were doing. So purification, guys, purification is when you cleanser wena, or maybe the isithunywa lesi onaso, or a spirit that possessed certain powers, because for a spirit to possess those powers, a bonfire was made, ekuyisitshiso. So sometimes people would do isitshiso to possess certain powers. Either they can either be good or bad, guys, but they do that to possess certain powers. Now, and ama powers, because of the sun element in the fire, then iba ngathini, it becomes wild. Ama powers wabo. So hence I made ilento. I know I promised indaba yoku-explain ubugedla, and God willing, next year I wanna do that video, but it's going to be long. So I won't make it a live. I'm going to make it a video, because we need to understand iyini lento. Anye sikhulume nayo nje ibe fancy kanti we don't understand ukuthi yini. So now there is this thing that we call a transformation, where you are transforming the spirit, you are transforming from this being to the a rebirth of a new person when you do a cleansing of fire or a cleansing of Isishiso. I wanna see this. I'm trying to rush with if laptop yami ingabi down, yes, guys. Okay, so in biblical lento explanation, the significance, or in the significance of fire in biblical lento is on a Bible is the presence of God and divine judgment, ne? So why am I why did I quote that? Is because people think lezi does hambiselani, religion and spirituality has hambiselani, and I don't know how. So when they talk about divine judgment, what happens is that when people do a ritual of fire, they used to sing, ne? Or they used to dance. There's this called the dance of fire, or the fire dance. They used to dance, and especially in shamanism. Now, you cannot do that singing and dancing lento ukuthi kuround isitshiso and kuculwe, and because you are summoning certain spirits, you are summoning certain energies, you are channeling. So if you are in doubt of who you are, of what you are, of the journey, your spiritual journey, and what you possess, you are in doubt, momentary doubt of it journey yakho and the divine lento creator himself, then you cannot do ritual of fire, because izo, as I say, izo reverse. That is why it is divine judgment, because it is going to judge the inner you. Umuntu oyenza ritual of fire, guys, is bound to get into a trance. You are bound because you are not in control, but you are overtaken by the energy that has been transferred. That's why we call it a transformation. So you are transforming from this. Gupuma, when you do a ritual of fire, when you do Setsheso, that's why I allow people to do it themselves without me guiding. I tell them, yeah, kuluma wena, because gupuma into engaphakathi. So the transformation from the inside out. You need gupuma whatever that's inside, whatever that you have to. You are the one who's going to be reborn, not mina. So allow people ukuthi bayenze lento umuntu ayiqoqele yena nale energy nalento ayiqoqela nayo. So when we cleanse a spirit who odinga isitshiso, it is because now the spirit has undergone certain dark, not dark in a way of bad dark, but over misused, that's the proper word, misused their power that were granted by the fire spirits. So now what we are cleansing, we're trying to purify the spirit okokuqala nje, siyazinikela thina kuso ukuthi okay, now we are bringing you back as a as a rebirth of a transformed spirit. And then we do lesitshiso leso, but in isitshiso as well, it's going to turn now it's over low. So